everybody, and welcome back to another Coaster Cheetah video. And in this video, it's going to be something way different from my usual videos. I am going to be reading and reacting to some hilarious reviews of theme parks, and I have typed in right now worst theme park experience. So yeah, we're gonna read and hopefully find some pretty hilarious ones. Okay, so the first review here we have says, I sat in between two cousins inside a tilt-a-whirl car. I get chronically motion sick. When the ride picked up speed and spin, I think it meant to say spin, I began to throw up. First in one cousin's lap and then the others, as they screamed and recoiled and pushed me back and forth between them. Okay, well, it looks like he has two here, so I'll read the next one in a minute. It's so terrible. Why would you ride a ride that you know is going to spin if you get very motion sick easily? Alright, well, now to the next one. Okay, so now on to the next review. It says, I rode a Gravitron, a big cylinder that spins fast enough for centripetal force to press you against the wall. Oh, okay, I know what that is. The wall of the drum. And then the floor drops away. I still get chronically motion sick. When the drum picked up speed, I threw up. My head pressed against the side of the wall where the vomit hung like the world's most disgusting comic book speech bubble. Until the machine slowed and everything on the ride started to slide back to the floor. Okay, so it's like one of those like carnival type rides. So this is from the same person as the last one. I don't know how much of these reviews I'm going to do. But yeah, so I don't know why this same person went on another ride like this. But yeah, that's pretty hilarious that he throws up when he goes on any ride like that. So yeah, definitely don't go on I-305. But yeah, now moving on to the next review. Okay, so the next review says, when I was 7, a family friend took me to the country fair. She was 16 and loved riding the rides. I, however, was a bit apprehensive about riding them. I've always been whatever the opposite of an adrenaline junkie would be. Basically, I practice adrenaline abstinence whenever possible. I'm an adrenaline nun. So we were at the fair, and despite my protests, she convinced me to go on some sort of spin me around and flip me over doohickey. I didn't enjoy myself. We stepped off, and I began to say, my stomach doesn't feel very, and before I could finish the sentence, I was puking. I took 3 more steps towards the bathroom and puked some more. Then I looked around and noticed that people were staring at me, which made me panic even more and puke even more. I was so mortified, I finally just gave up and flopped down onto the ground crying. Next year, I was not forced to go on any rides. That's terrible because especially everyone's staring at you and stuff, but it seems like a lot of people here get sick going on like these rides, which honestly, I kind of understand. Like fair rides for some reason make you get more sick. Maybe it's because of all the like junk food and stuff you eat at the fair. Okay, so the next review here says, myself, my wife, and 2 small kids got stuck on the Disney It's a Small World ride for about a half hour. The ride simply stopped, but that crazy song kept playing. A few minutes later, someone came up with a flashlight and told us to stay put. What do you mean stay put? As if you could like get out of the restraint? And that someone would help us get off the ride soon. About 20 minutes or so they did. But the music never stopped. Oh my gosh, that would be terrible just sitting there. I heard someone say one time that they got stuck on the brake run of Laugh Track at Hershey Park, but the ride didn't stop spinning. That would be like my worst nightmare. But even the combo between them, if a spinning ride never stopped, but also the It's a Small World music, you must have done something for that to happen to you. Okay, so our next review says short version, which, by the way, that's the only one I'm going to read because the long version is very long. But short version, I got banned for life from Paramount's theme parks for encouraging a group of young boys to assault Yogi Bear, and my pastor told our entire congregation about it in his televised sermon. Well, first of all, I hope you're unbanned now because now that Cedar Fair owns the parks. But yeah, that is pretty hilarious, but also not good. But, you know, at least you kind of paid the price. Okay, so our next review talks about 3 theme parks that apparently this person did not have a great experience with or did not like. So first, Blackpool Pleasure Beach was not great. They have a lot of rides, but none of them are worth the trip, and the state of the park left a lot to be desired. Yeah, I feel like it doesn't have the greatest rides. Icon looks nice, but other than that, not great looking. But the park itself looks pretty nice, I guess. But yeah, other than that, doesn't look like a bucket list park or anything. Like, definitely not like one of the top parks in the UK. Now, the next one I don't really know how to pronounce. It's Babajan Land, I think. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But it said it has no rides of interest to me. The theming is not there either, and everything else feels very cheap. So I do understand this kind of because, first of all, I do know that it's not very well themed. Like, in American standards, it would be nice. However, in Europe, a ton of the parks over there are very well themed. So, but yeah, I mean, this park does have Fury. So Fury is a really awesome Gerstlauer shuttle launch coaster. So yeah, I do think that it is kind of a stretch to say that it had no rides of interest to you. But I mean, maybe it wasn't there when you went. I don't know. But now for the final park that he reviewed was Parque Warner Madrid. He said it has few rides that should be great, but maintenance is not great, and the rides are often not in great condition. Also, staff is extremely insufficient. I have not heard I've not heard like a ton of things about it. I do know that they're getting that awesome new Intamin multi-launch. The park looks like decently well kept and stuff. I haven't heard anything about the staff here, but maybe just a bad experience at this park. Okay, this next review is about a Universal park that I have never heard of. I didn't even know it existed, but this person says, my trip to Universal Studios Singapore is a nightmare in its entirety. The weather was hot, can't blame it though. The rides were repetitive. In many places, it was a carbon copy of Genting Highlands. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Sans the cool air. Nothing particularly interesting. I don't know how other visitors think, but for me, it was essentially a ripoff. Don't mind going to Genting. It's either Genting or Genting, sorry. 50 or 100 times, but I seriously doubt that I will set foot on Universal again. Well, this is interesting to me because I guess I agree with this person because I've never heard of the park, and if it's a Universal park, then I should have heard of it, but if it's this bad, then yeah, I mean, not all the parks can be good. Okay, so that will wrap up my reading and reacting to some pretty awesome and hilarious theme park and roller coaster reviews. And yeah, leave in the comments down below, guys, if you would like a part 2. Also in the comments, leave down below any stories of roller coasters or theme parks or any amusement park ride that you feel free to be shared on the channel, and I will definitely read it in the part 2. So yeah, guys, if you did enjoy, please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.